What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of History in the Writing with local author Gennaro Lombardi here, aka your boy Gio for short. Coming on here to do two things. So I always come on here to do book promotionals. I have 5 books, 4 self-published, 1 officially published. I'll probably save it for the end of the video to go over because I actually have all 5 with me today and it's a lot to cover. So if you make it to the end of the video, check it out. Stick around, and then I make a self-help video pertaining to a certain topic, usually the topics of my book, but not always. And today's topic is top 5 or 6 ways how to avoid getting pulled over. Because if you don't want to get a ticket, the best way to not get a ticket or to deal with cops is to avoid getting pulled over completely, right? Because that's the main and ultimate goal. When we drive around, we drive down the road, we do not want to get noticed by cops. We don't want to get pulled over for speeding, whatever the case may be, right? So that's going to be video 1. Then I'm going to make a part 2. So if you do get pulled over, the top 5 or 6 ways how to avoid getting out of a ticket if you do get pulled over, because there are methods and tactics that you can use that are very easy that will not seal your fate in getting a ticket, right? Depending on how bad the situation was, but there are ways out of it. So here we go with topic. All right, so tip number 1 is pretty easy, and it's check your lights regularly. You know, if you can't do it yourself, you know, ask a neighbor, ask a friend, ask a sibling to walk around your car, especially at night or whatever, to make sure you can see everything clear. It's kind of hard to see during the day depending on the car. And make sure your blinkers work, especially your brake lights, because not only will you not get a ticket if your brake lights don't work, you could get into an accident and stuff like that. But this is the thing, is if your lights don't work properly, it gives the cop a reason to pull you over even if you're driving normally. So always check that. At least once a month I do it, and I help other people when I'm driving down the road. Seriously, I can't even tell you how many people I've been seeing driving around with a brake light out lately. It's been ridiculous. I'm in the Twilight Zone like the last month. I literally seen like 200 people, and I pull up. If I get next to them, I say, hey, you got a brake light down. And they always say, oh shit, yeah, shit. So that's it. Check your check your lights regularly, and on to number 2. Number 2 to get out of to not get pulled over is drive the speed limit, which is good, right? If you're driving the speed limit, because there are some cops, even if you're driving 5, 6 to 10 miles over the speed limit, you're going to get pulled over, right? So that's always good. But if you do speed, which I always do, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I'm always a little bit over the speed limit, which is speeding. I'm not doing 100 miles an hour, even though I did on the way back from Connecticut. So if you are going to speed, I do have some tips for you. Never speed downhill and never speed out of town, right? So why I say that is because if you speed downhill, there's always cops sitting at the bottom of the hill. At our town, in our town of Nutley, New Jersey, there's always cops at the bottom of Rutgers Hills. Long straightaways too, that's what you got to watch out for. But the bottom of the hills, because they know you're flying down to try to save on gas, you're not using the brakes. Especially on 287 coming down, actually Route 23 over 287 in like the Booton area, there's always a cop sitting at the bottom of that hill. So never speed downhill. And the other one was don't speed out of town, because cops love to give out-of-towners tickets. I've gotten, and that's the worst, if you get a ticket out of town and you got to go back to fight it, like I've done twice in Seaside Heights. And I'm from Nutley, and that's an hour ride, and it's hell. So, and cops, like I said, they love to give out-of-towners tickets. They're used to seeing regular people every morning through their shifts. You know, if they're an 8 a.m. cop to 3 p.m. or 4 or 5 p.m., they see the same people, and if they see you coming through town, you're going to get a ticket. So drive the speed limit. One way to not get pulled over is, number 3, know where the police sit. There's a few things on this, right? Is that, like, in my town, we always know where they sit, mainly in public facilities or government properties. They sit in schools. They never sit in private property, so we know that. Side of the road, you know, there's a thing on the side of the roads and stuff like that, actual pit stops for them. So know where they sit. You know, that's always helped me out throughout the years. So I'm not going to speed down a certain road at a certain time if I know that cop 9 out of 10 is sitting there. There's been a lot in our town of Nutley on Passaic Ave lately. So when I go down Passaic Ave at night, I'm very cautious. So that's it. All right, so tip number 4 is maintain a medium profile. And the explanation for that is I even try to, in my road rage book, The Road Rage at Its Finest, I try to actually define the stereotypical road ragers and drivers on the road, right? Like there's the medium driver, there's the regular people, the road average people, like your basic soccer mom in her minivan, my sister in her Kia with the kids in the car going to work, and who's got a Honda, who's got like the regular working man who's got an F-150. These cars all blend in. They don't really stand out in any way, right? Then you got the road snob, the road demon, and then there's the road scumbag. So if your car is over profiled, above average, or under average, you're actually going to get noticed by police. So if you're driving a sports car, a red convertible Corvette, you flashy colors, you're going to get noticed. And then if you got a car that's a piece of shit, a Dodge Aries K car from 1982 with broken windows, your bumper's hanging off, and you got a padiddle, one headlight out, you're going to get noticed by police too. So that's things. So that's, to blend in is always the best bet. So that's. And last but not least, and the most simple one, wear your seatbelt. Not only will this avoid getting you pulled over by the police if they see you not wearing it, but it could also save your life. So thanks for tuning in to another episode of History in a Writing. If you haven't picked up a copy of Road Rage at Its Finest, the first self-help book for road rage ever, on Amazon, pick up a copy today and I'll sign it for you. Hit me up on here. I don't care. That's really about it. All these ways and many, many more are in my book, and plus a lot of other things that could save your life, get you out of a ticket, get you out of road rage altercation. And that's it. So come back please for number 2, which is going to be like the top 5 or 6 ways how to get out of a ticket if you do get pulled over. So have a good day, and please drive safe.